that patrol.
Tuesday night basketball here on SCC. We got a Suburban East matchup as the Roseville Raiders travel to White Bear Lake. Sam Erickson and John Miller here to call the action for you. Should be a good one here, John. Look at those records.
Yeah, Suburban East standings, you know, if you look at it, Roseville barely beat White Bear Lake the last game that they played, so this is going to be a good one, Sam. If you see the standings right here, Roseville sitting a half a game above White Bear Lake, both sitting at 13-9. These teams are as equal as it can get, and it should be a great matchup.
Yeah, overall records identical. Roseville with that one extra win in conference. I think we're going to step aside for the national anthem, and we'll tip it off after that. All right, so that's the national anthem. We'll get ready to get things started here pretty quick. But before that, we'll take a look at how things are for these teams in their section standings. It's a conference matchup, but these two teams actually represent different sections.
Yeah, if you look at these both, I mean, Roseville sit in the middle of the pack of 5-4A. They have a tough conference. Park Center and Champlin Park are no walks in the park, so it's going to be very tough for them to advance in the sections.
That Osseo team as well, sitting right outside the top 10 at number 11. And then over for White Bear, they got a heck of a section as well in 4-4A.
Yeah, look at that section 4-4A. Cretin-Durham Hall, Eastridge, Great North St. Paul representing the Fab Four. Woodbury, Tartan as well. This is going to be really tough, and they're going to have to play the best basketball of their lives, Sam, if they're going to keep advancing within the section, but it's highly doubtful that they will.
And for White Bear Lake, this team very well could have been sitting at that number 8 seed a year ago. So been a bit of a turnaround, you know, maybe not, sitting at the very top of this section right now, but it's certainly turning things around and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, Sam, if you look at it last year, I mean, they were absolutely terrible, but they were a young squad. They were full of a lot of sophomores. You had some freshmen who played. Rarely, I think they only had a few seniors who didn't even play last year because they weren't good enough compared to the sophomores, but those sophomores now are juniors, and you got Sam Schwartz, Beckler, those guys just rising to the occasion, and they're just juniors. They're leading the team in points. So next year it'll be I think they'll be a much better team, especially with Oturu from Cretin-Durham Hall leaving. White Bear Lake could take that next step next year, Sam.
Yeah. Players you talk about that are juniors now got valuable experience on varsity a year ago, and talk about how this team has improved from last year, improved a little bit within this year as well. Their last game on Friday picked up a win against Woodbury 69-65. That was a team they lost to early in the season, 60-53. So White Bear showing some good things as of late, including, playing Cretin-Durham Hall, a team, they lost by 15, but played them a lot closer than the first time in the season.
Yes, and that Woodbury team's no walk in the park either. They're having a very good year as well, sitting at 10-3 within the conference, 2.5 games back of Cretin-Durham Hall. Let's go into our players to watch for the game. We got Devontae Munson for Roseville. He's averaging 10.3 per game, 3 points per game. He was actually their leading scorer the last time these two teams played, so he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on, and we'll see how good he does tonight.
And we talk about this White Bear team turning things around. I think this is an important matchup, kind of see where you're at. They lost by 3 points the first matchup. If they can reverse that decision here, shows that they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we'll need Jeremy Beckler pointing on screen, our player to watch for White Bear Lake. He's averaging 18.8 per game. As we talked about, he's just a junior. He's got the size. I think he could take this team, you know, maybe win a section game. Not much more after that. Next year, I think, is when this team is going to be the cream of the crop within the Suburban East.
And with this game traveling to Park of Cottage Grove after that, then finishing out with Forest Lake. That could be another one where only lost by 7 the first time up at Forest Lake. White Bear might be able to pick up a win there. So still a couple wins potentially on the calendar for White Bear Lake. And they're going to start off the game tonight with the basketball. Looking inside to Beckler right away. And that's turned over as it's taken away by Drew Adams, number 21.
You got to feed your best player, Sam.
Here's Devontae Munson on the ball. Gives it up at the elbow. Gets it right back. Now slings it across court. And up top. There's Adams driving into the paint. Trying to make a move up, under, off, and rebound to the Bears.
Yeah, Beckler just using his size. He barely even had to jump for that ball. His arm length is so long.
Beckler looking like the tallest player out there right now. Matching up against Nolan Wald, 6'5" senior for the Raiders. Here's Begley's first chance on offense. Too strong off the glass. And rebound down to the Raiders.
Yeah, it looks like he likes to use a little Tim Duncan glass on that, Sam, on his shot.
Cameron Walker nearly losing it. Now to Keyshawn Payne. Payne fake, drives, left-handed lane won't go. And Beckler there for the rebound. White Bear's going to push it up a little bit. And ref's going to say it last touched White Bear, and it looked like Isaac Tessier was the last one on the touch.
Yeah, it looked like it was smacked out of his hands, but he was, I think, the last one to touch it, Sam. I think that was the right call.
Adams at the top of the key. He's going to drive. Now out to Munson. Munson back up top. Payne with it. Roseville patient on offense here to start. Good move to get some space, but decides to give it up. It's Cameron Walker with it again. We saw a pretty low scoring game between these two the first matchup, and these first couple possessions are any indication might have that as well, but we'll have our first points on the board as Cameron Walker drives the baseline.
Yeah, Cameron Walker, yeah, as you just said, driving that baseline. Nice little finish there with the finger roll.
Pass inside.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out right there, Sam, why number 15, Blake Charles, just stopped going for that ball. The defender definitely didn't touch it. I mean, that's just a mistake you can't make.
It looked like Charles maybe thought the Roseville player made contact, let it go out of bounds, but it's another turnover for White Bear, already a couple. Dangerous cross-court pass, finds the target. Roseville looks to work it around again. Payne now to Walker. Walker trying to get it inside. Beckler, good defense. Here's Devontae Munson off the dribble. Almost out of bounds. Saves it. Payne, good pass. Hesitation from Wald. Can't get the lay-in. And we'll go the other way.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a perimeter game, Sam. Both these teams, besides Beckler and number 55, Nolan Wald for Roseville, these teams are not very big or not very tall. They're more lengthy and look like they like the game around the perimeter.
Munson getting into the passing lane there. He's going to have a chance at an easy two. And knocks it down.
Yeah, Munson picking up his first 2 points of the game. Nice steal. Reading the passing lane right there.
Drive tapped away. I think after it was swatted out of his hand, came off a Bear player. It's going to go with Roseville. And another turnover for White Bear.
Yeah, very sloppy play. Then you start creating some crisp passes. They're being lazy with the ball.
So Carter Ellers, number 4, is going to check in for White Bear Lake. Drop down to Wald, and he'll convert the easy lay-in. And looks like we'll have a timeout as Coach Lockwood's going to call one for White Bear Lake, trailing 6-0 with 14-13 left to go here in the opening frame. And there's a bit of an obstructed view at Keith Lockwood, head coach of your White Bear Lake Bears. There he is.
Yeah, Coach Lockwood can't be happy with this team right now. They're playing very sloppy. They're not getting any identity going on offense. So you just got to feed Beckler and just see what he can give you. And they got to hustle. They got to stop being lazy with their passes. Early on, they've got a few turnovers, and it's not good.
Coach Lockwood's team not starting out this one looking as good as that tie, I tell you that much.
I like it, Sam.
I think he's telling them to sharpen up a little bit like he did for this game. So 6-0, White Bear, a lot of turnovers, haven't only missed a couple of shots, haven't taken a whole lot because of the turnovers.
Yeah, I think they've gotten maybe 1 or 2 shots on the bucket so far, Sam, and that's not what you want when you're 3 minutes into the game.
So Beck finds Blake Charles inside, and White Bear is on the board.
Charles gets his first 2 points of the game, averaging 11.2 on the years.
Here comes a little bit of pressure from the Bears. Starting up a half-court trap now. Adams going to drive inside, dish to Wald. Wald tried another pass, somehow found its way to Adams, who puts up the shot in the paint. And it'll get stuck on the rim.
It's going to stay with Roseville. Jump ball. Arrows pointing towards Roseville. So they catch a break as this one gets stuck, and every White Bear Lake player was in position to get that rebound. So,
boy, don't often see that. Usually it's going a little quicker to get lodged in there.
Yeah, usually it's shot at an angle, too.
Just kind of had the perfect angle, I think, coming off the rim. That time's Adams underneath the rim too much, comes off.
Yeah, Beckler with a nice block.
But it's going to stay with Roseville as they get another chance. Munson's going to reset. Go to Adams in the corner. Adams going to dribble out. Now Keyshawn Payne drives in, takes some contact, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, too much body there from White Bear Lake player Matthias Beck. He was in the perfect spot. All he had to do was stand his ground. But both these teams are going to have to make room on their own. They're playing tenacious D, and some playmakers are going to have to step up.
Yeah, good presence of mind there from Payne. Saw a bit of a mismatch in terms of height. Took it at Beck and got rewarded with some free throws. Good on the first, sinks the second. That'll make it 8-2 Roseville. Back to Charles. Charles in the corner is going to look inside to Beckler. Beckler has had to deal with a host of pressure at off the mark. Charles going for the rebound. At last came off a Roseville player.
Yeah, it looks like Charles got away with a little over the back there, but nonetheless.
I wasn't sure if he almost looked like he touched that ball before it went out of bounds.
I thought so too, Sam.
Schwartz driving into the middle. Good pass down low. And Beckler's got 2.
Yeah, Beckler picking up his first 2 points of the night. As we said, averaging almost 19 points per game. That number's going to get much higher, folks, as he gets the steal.
Errant pass from the Raiders. Beckler trying to push it up. Big man's going to get bailed out with the foul.
Yeah, it looked like he picked up his dribble a little too quick. Wanted to shoot it. Almost a little jump volley, but, nonetheless, the defender was still moving. Made a lot of contact. That's going to get called every time.
That's the first team foul on Roseville. Inbound, nearly taken away. Ellers will regroup. Now back with Ellers. He tries to get it inside to Beckler. Does. Beckler fights off a double team and gets it in.
Can't stop that, Sam. He just uses low post moves, gets it in. But as you can hear, Coach Lockwood telling his players to move. The offensive players are going to have to make their own shots.
Good passing from Roseville. The lay-in too strong. And we got a foul. And it's going to go against Roseville. A couple players fighting for the rebound. See who it's on.
Yeah, it looked like that was against Drew Adams. He didn't look too happy with that call at all. Let's see here if it was. You'll see they'll go up with the shot.
Tried the extra pass. Nice pass. Wall just too strong.
Yeah, it looked like he slapped his arms through, and that's going to get called every time as well.
Inside to Beckler again, off the window. And boy, the big man's got a soft touch.
Yeah, they don't have anybody that can really stop him, Sam. Nobody on the court is his size, as they currently took out Wald, and Wald's still a few inches shorter than him. So I would feed it to him every time, make them defend him, pull a double team in, and then he can dish out of there.
Checking in for Roseville, number 40, Luke Bouchard. Looks like he's going to D up on Beckler, excuse me, at least for the time being. That one dribbled off the foot. Eller's going to take it the other way, no call. And Bouchard's going to be there to get the rebound.
Yeah, you could see that one coming from a mile away once he picked that.
Adams had a good look there. Long rebound taken away by Sam Schwartz of White Bear. He's going to drive it. And a foul before the shot.
Looked like Schwartz pushed off a little bit, but nonetheless, they're going to call a defensive foul on that. I'm not too sure. Let's check it right here.
I thought he maybe traveled there a little bit, saw the ball get caught up on his hip, but
that's a terrible call, Sam. There was no contact on that one.
Inbound to Ellers, had a little bit of a window. Drives baseline, that goes out of bounds. Stays with White Bear. Sorry, John.
Sorry, Sam. No, that was Drew Adams' second foul, and that's just one of your better players who's leading the team in points with 11 points per game, and an unnecessary foul that just didn't need to be called.
Inbound, Schwartz doesn't get the initial try, but right there to pounce and the putback. And that'll give White Bear their first lead of the game, 10-8, and Roseville will have to take a timeout with 10:46 left to go.
Yeah, Roseville started out 6-0. It's a 10-2 run over the last 4 minutes, so this has been impressive here over the last 4 minutes.
Taking a look at that upcoming Roseville schedule, and they got a couple games that they can probably win, and one that looks pretty dang tough a week from today.
Yeah, I mean, that Creighton-Durham Hall team is no slouch. They're projected to win the state tournament, and definitely have some players that are going D1. Moundsview, not very good, and St. Michael Albertville, not a very good team, so they definitely have a chance to win 2 out of 3 there.
And for White Bear Lake, kind of touched on it a little bit. Parker Cottage Grove probably going to be a win there. That Eastridge team very good. Probably not going to pick up a win in that one. And then Forest Lake, I think that one's up in the air too. Good team, beat this White Bear Lake team by 7, but they've been playing a lot better basketball as of late. And that first matchup was up in Forest Lake,
yeah,
so we'll see.
As you talked about, Sam, this team's improving. We'll see, just how much they've improved throughout the year if they can beat those 2 teams that they already lost to this year.
That's why I think a game like this is a really good barometer. These teams identical records, lost to them by 3 away to Roseville last time, so we'll see what happens. And so far, so good. We got a close one.
Yeah, nice block right there from Kleist.
Big block. Taken away, though, and Munson's going to have a chance at the fast break. And good.
Yeah, Munson picks up his 4th point. Great steal. It's the second fast break steal of the game. He just makes it look too easy. Great at reading the passes and picking through the zone.
Schwartz gets it to the elbow. He'll give it to Blake Charles with it now. Charles going to try and make a move on the block. He'll kick it back out. Tried to enter it back into Charles. Nearly out of bounds. Saved by Roseville and eventually taken away.
Once again, that was Munson getting his hand in there, creating the ball or creating the loose ball. This kid just has a knack on defense to put his hands in the right place.
Mario Dukes, number 23, now in for Roseville, as well as number 1. There's a turnover taken away by Ellers. Slowed up by White Bear Lake.
Yeah, both these teams playing great defense early on, Sam.
Contact and an offensive foul is going to go against Sam Schwartz. Looked like he led with the shoulder on that one.
Yeah, I felt like he could have got called with that earlier, Sam, which he didn't. He was able to draw the foul before. This time, the ref had a good view of it and picked it up.
So also in for White Bear, number 24, Joshua Griefenhagen.
He's averaging 3.4 points per game on the year.
Beckler back into the game. White Bear bringing the press again. Roseville trying to pass out of the corner. Blake Charles, though, charging the other way, somehow got the layup off. No call, doesn't get it to go, and Roseville's going to push it up. Here's Dukes. Dukes, little contact midair, no call. Beckler on the rebound.
Beckler just makes those rebounds look way too easy. He just stuck his hands in there. He didn't even know who it was, and Beckler.
We'll have another foul. This is going to go against Wald, I believe. He took a seat earlier. Not sure if that was because of foul trouble. I think he only had one, if any. And yeah, that will be his first.
Yeah,
fourth team foul on Roseville.
Yeah, 4-2, foul disparity. Still 8:39 left to go. So, you know, they could get into the bonus here in a couple minutes.
Beckler dealing with pressure. Beck now, Griefenhagen. He'll try to dribble to the middle. Eventually give it off to Beck. White Bear just trying to work it inside, just can't do it. Beck now tries to drive. He'll pull it back out. Up top to Ehlers. Ehlers trying to get it into Beckler. And Beckler's pushed from behind. That'll be the second quick foul on Wald, and we'll see what Roseville's forced to do. It looks like Bouchard's going to come back in.
Yeah, Sam, I don't know why Wald would do that. They're giving him backside help underneath, so even if he gets a little out of position, he's got help right there. I don't know why he's playing so aggressive. Let him get the ball, backside help will come in, and then he's double teamed, and then he forced Beckler to dish it outside.
You can see why Roseville's been trying to D up that entry pass. So, I mean, pretty much the only offense White Bear Lake's been able to muster is working it in to Beckler. Beckler's going to spot it up from beyond the arc and knock it down. And that'll put White Bear back up on top.
He says, you guys want to play me tough in the post? I'll show you my range. And he just drilled that one, Sam.
Yeah, I thought he might leave it a little short, but knocks it down. The low arcer. We're going to have another foul call. And Roseville's already up to 6.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get Johannes Gebiu, and it looked like Gebiu's in. He got his feet planted, but he was inside the circle, so that'll get called every time.
Inbound to Beckler. Beck now up top. Beck's trying to get it into Blake Charles, another one of the leading scorers here for White Bear Lake. Griefenhagen off the dribble. Beckler still trying to work in that post. Ehlers just one too many steps, and another turnover for White Bear Lake.
Yeah, another turnover. Imagine the score if they didn't have so many turnovers. It's only 13-10. But, you know, Roseville's been playing great defense so far. Same with White Bear Lake. Both these teams giving no room to breathe to the opposing offense.
Lucky for White Bear Lake, Roseville not shooting very well. Haven't been able to capitalize on a lot of those turnovers. And
well, I don't know how good of a shooting team they are, Sam. Their leading scorer is averaging 11 points per game. Their former leading scorer was also averaging 11 points per game before he quit the team, Gary Smith. So, you know, not a lot of scores on this team, but they have a lot of guys who average points. They have over 10 kids who have averaged at least 1 point this year.
Contributions from a lot of players for this Roseville team.
15, actually.
That scoring has been spread around a little bit here tonight for their 10 points. And guy with 2 of them right there, Cameron Walker, is going to be heading to the free throw line.
Yeah, Walker, I feel like Walker and the Roseville team alone, they were getting a lot of their points on the inside, and they just kind of went away from that and stuck to passing around the perimeter. I don't know if that was more White Bear Lake's defense congesting the inside or the lane, but whatever it did, it worked.
There's a little glance at our leading scorers. Beckler, as we mentioned, a lot of the offense for White Bear Lake.
Yeah, not gonna lie to you, Sam, I doubted his range on that 3, and he made that look easy.
That was a big shot. Right now the difference as White Bear has the 13-12 lead, just over 6.5 to go here in the opening half of the game.
I think what kind of hurts this Roseville team is that they don't have a true point guard, Sam. A lot of bigger guys, nobody who's really good with handling the basketball and good at passing. Just have a lot of guys who can score.
So yet another turnover. See if White Bear can capitalize on this one. T.S. Beck going to bring it up. Sam Schwartz into the paint, strong step, gets the roll off the rim, and it's 15-12.
Yeah, Schwartz picking up his 4th point with a great little spin on it to get to roll in. Nice drive.
A little home cooking, little touch on the rim.
Always got to enjoy that.
Walker open for 3, rattles it home, and we're all tied up.
Yeah, Walker already with 7 points. He had all day to set up on that 3, Sam.
Yeah, knocked it down. Blake Charles turns, got an opportunity to shoot one, comes off, but Beckler gets the board in a crowd, gets it to roll off the front rim. And good for White Bear that Beckler looking like he's got a little bit of luck on his side here tonight. A nice play getting that rebound in a crowd.
Yeah, 11 over 17 points, Sam. This kid's on fire to start the game. I feel like after I said once he got his first 2 points of the game, he was only just getting started, and he's been on fire ever since.
He's certainly not wrong about that. As you mentioned, 11 of the first 17 for White Bear Lake. Bears are going to slow it up. Tessier looking inside. Give to Beck. Beck up to Sam Schwartz, pressured by Mario Dukes at the top of the key. Beck's entry pass, not the best, but comes off Roseville, so he'll stay with White Bear.
He took the words right out of my mouth, Sam. That was a really bad entry pass, and nonetheless, White Bear Lake gets to reset up.
Maybe trying to lead Charles a little bit, but just out of the reach. Stays with the Bears. Now Schwartz gives it to Tessier. Hands off back to Schwartz. Schwartz into the paint. I think he tried to leave it for somebody, but just Roseville players there to take it away.
Yeah, Schwartz did the right thing. He drew the defenders, and he should have ditched it back out to Beck, who was wide open for a 3.
Bouchard completes the dangerous cross-court pass. Roseville being a little sloppy with it. Now Bouchard again cross-court. Ends up with Payne in the corner. And back out. Bouchard, another one-handed pass. Didn't find its intended target, but stays with Roseville. Now Munson driving baseline. He'll go up, draw contact, and get 2 shots.
Yeah, I don't know what Bouchard was thinking, trying to throw it over Beckler, but didn't happen nonetheless. Now Roseville's at the line. Munson looking for his 5th point of the game.
Now I was thinking Bouchard's name sounded kind of familiar, and I'm wondering, thinking back to football season, is that, and looking at those passes, maybe got Roseville's quarterback on hand.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sam.
At least the way he wanted to pass the basketball there certainly looked like a quarterback.
Yeah, we saw him play against Stillwater. He played very well that game. This kid can run.
Munson off on the first free throw opportunity. Second one up. That hits the back iron, rattles off the front iron, and goes down.
So he picks up that 5th point, halfway to his season average of 10.
17-16 the lead here for White Bear Lake. 3:45 left to go here in the opening period. But if you're White Bear Lake, having the lead at this point, probably you'll take that after how things started.
Yeah, they're down 6-0 with 14 minutes left, and they've been on a 17-10 run ever since.
Griefenhagen throws up a wild shot and boarded by Bouchard.
Yeah, definitely poor shot selection on that one, Sam.
Bouchard gets in the high post, turns into the paint, and he's hacked. That'll just be the 5th team foul on White Bear.
Yeah, 6-5 foul disparity.
So Walker to inbound, finds Munson. Munson around to Walker. I think for this Roseville team, they're just looking for somebody to step up on the offensive end. Saw Walker for a couple possessions be that player.
Yeah, you might as well take Bouchard out of your offense with Beckler and his size on him. Oh, wow, what a block there.
Huge block
by
on
Mario
Griefenhagen.
Dukes.
Griefenhagen actually made a nice move to get an opportunity, but Dukes, coming out of nowhere, skying up and rejecting that.
That was a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch, Sam.
White Bear works it around. Tessier is going to have a go on the three-pointer, gets the roll. And that's a big shot for the Bears. They're up 20-16 now.
Yeah, Tessier gets his first 3 points of the game, averaging almost 8 points a game on the year. Beautiful little roll there, and that's what happens when you put a little spin on your shot.
And Roseville is definitely content with letting him take that one. We'll see if he'll get another look like that.
It definitely did not look pretty coming off of his hand, Sam. You know they watch a little bit of film, and I guarantee you they said let him take that all day. And you know what? Even Ricky Rubio could hit a 3 once in a while, Sam.
Yeah, White Bear Lake's working a little home magic here tonight. I thought that one maybe was going to be shy of the rim even, but gets the kind roll, goes down, and that's what gives us our 2016 score. White Bear with the lead.
Well, folks, we always want to remind you to volunteer here at SEC TV. You could call Arlen Becker at the number listed on the screen, or his email address is right there as well. You know, they always give out free Subway, whether you're going to school for video shooting or even broadcasting. We're always welcome here. We have a great crew on hand, and it's always a fun time here at SEC Sports.
Yeah, can't do what we do without the help of our volunteers, so want to thank them as always, and great job. As we take a look at our leading scorers so far in this one.
Yeah, Jeremy Beckler, he's a man amongst boys right now. Roseville does not have the size to stop him, Sam. I mean, as we just saw, Bouchard was on him. You better take him out of your game because Beckler's going to terrorize him on defense all day. But Cameron Walker and Devontae Munson have stepped up, but I think they're going to have to step up just a little bit more if this Roseville team wants to beat White Bear Lake. But Devontae Munson, the last time they played, stepped up in a big way.
And for White Bear Lake, the last couple minutes, I think the nice thing is, for a while it seemed like the only offense they were ever going to get was through Jeremy Beckler. Last couple possessions, we've seen a couple other players knock down shots. So that's good moving forward for the Bears.
Yeah, we've definitely seen them miss a couple of fast break opportunities as well, Sam. They just hurried up too quick instead of slowing down, maybe making some defenders miss and then shooting their shot. Definitely some missed opportunities, but I think they've gotten a little lucky that Roseville just has no offensive identity right now.
A lot of turnovers early on for the Bears, but Roseville has slowly added to their turnover tally, and they're pretty much even at this point. We're going to go the other way. That was pretty close. Munson got a hand in there. The referees say it went off Griefenhagen last. Munson's going to fire one from three. That's nothing but net. So a little contested, but knocks it down.
8 points now for Munson. As we were just talking about, he's got to step up, and that's what they're going to need from this young man.
Yeah, might start to see him fire a few more from beyond the arc after hitting that one. That looked pretty nice.
Yeah, he had a nice stroke, Sam.
Ellers has it poked away. Munson charging for it, and it's going to go to Roseville again.
This kid just plays with some hustle. I like what I see out of this Cameron Munson. He has a knack for the ball. He can dribble in space. He can go up for the contested layups. We just saw him shoot a three. I like it, Sam.
I was going to say, if you can add that three-pointer to the game like he just knocked down, that's going to be huge for Roseville. So 3 quick points and another turnover forces Coach Lockwood to take a timeout.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers forced by Munson. He's playing very well, getting his hands within space. If you're Coach McKenzie, you'd love to have 10 players that were all like Munson, just playing hard as he can every single possession.
Taking a look at that roster, Devontae Munson is a senior, certainly playing like it so far in this one. So it's a 1-point game now, minute and a half or so left to go in the first half. Keyshawn Payne off the dribble into the paint, gives to Bouchard. Now it's beyond the arc. Roseville doesn't want the shot. They'll continue to work it on offense. Tessier nearly poked it away into the corner for Munson. Munson almost had a foot on the line, so he had to give it up. Another big three, and that one's knocked down. Johannes Gebeyehu with a big shot.
Yeah, I thought he should have took the shot when he drove, when he dished out to Munson, but nonetheless, he makes up for it with a 3.
And this Roseville team, we didn't really see them take any three-pointers for the majority of this first half.
I think that's what they have to do, Sam. Sorry to cut you off there, but Beckler's just too big, and they don't have any size to match up with it.
And we'll see how that changes, especially with the success these last couple. Walker's got a 3 in this first half, can't get it there. Ball rattles around, but stays with the Bears. Under 30 seconds now left to go here in the first half. Tessier with the running, laying off the window, too strong. Beckler the follow, has it poked away. And the steal to Cameron Walker.
Looked like a good no call. Looked like it was all ball on the block against Beckler.
Yeah, Beckler just got to be a little stronger with that one. Rebound, and Beck will just hold it as the horn sounds. So that'll be your first half. 22-20 as Roseville closes the first half on a run to retake the lead. And we will stay with you in this for this halftime, I should say. And to start off our halftime, we're going to bring you highlights of the last time these two got together.
Yeah, we'll give it to you courtesy of CTV here. We had the girls' game. They had the boys' game. And now we'll see here Blake Charles starting it off. A little move inside the paint to start scoring for White Bear Lake. And then after a Roseville timeout, Jeremy Beckler will end up converting in close for the 2-pointer, making it 10-0 starting off the game. And after an offensive rebound, Avery Nelson gets the 3-pointer for Roseville. Nothing but net on that one. Gives them a little bit of momentum. And the ball's kicked out to Drew Adams, and he gets a 3-pointer himself. About 7 minutes to go, and Roseville only trails by 2. Now moving to the second half, Gary Smith, who's not on the team anymore, grabs a rebound. He takes it all the way himself to give Roseville the first lead at 30. This will be the one right here at 30-29. Then Devontae Munson will end up hitting a monster 3-pointer with about 7:30 to go to put Roseville up by 8 points, their biggest lead so far of that game. And Carter Ehlers will end up shooting a 3 to get White Bear Lake back in the game. Big foul from Roseville as he's pushed down. There's Gary Smith actually with a good steal, and this is the Ehlers 3-pointer. Ends up trying to make it a 4-point play. Leads cut to 2 now with about 28 seconds to play. And that'll be the ending score there, 58-55. The Bears fall a close one to the Raiders in a close matchup. Really can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's interesting with those highlights there, John. I saw a lot of things that mirrored things that we saw here tonight. Saw Devontae Munson knock down a huge 3-pointer there. A few turnovers on that one, and then Beckler getting some boards and some points as well.
Exactly right.
Well, we're going to get into another segment from a show, Sports Path, we do here on the first and third Wednesdays of every month on SEC Sports. And this is a segment from that called Coach's Corner. This is our most recent one. We sat down with the new North St. Paul basketball head coach, Damian Johnson. So here's Coach's Corner from Sports Path.
Hi everybody, welcome here inside the gym here at North High School. No, this is not the latest fashion statement in the wrap around my head. I did sustain a little cut last night, but that's neither here nor there. It's time for Coach's Corner. We're here this time on the basketball court, joined here today by Mr. Damian Johnson, new head coach here of North High School.
How you doing? How you doing?
Doing well. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and your experience here with basketball?
Yeah, so over the past few years I've been playing basketball overseas, NBA Development League, coaching at Eden Prairie High School as an assistant coach for a while. And some might know I played at U of M, so I mean, the last about 10 years I've been really busy where basketball has become more of a job than just a fun thing, but it's a job I enjoy.
So let's talk about the decision to get into coaching. What led you to go into that path?
I just love basketball, so I just didn't want to get away from it. So I'm not playing anymore, so coaching is the best way to stick to it.
So you mentioned that you went to Eden Prairie for a little bit of time. Now you're here in your first season as the head coach of North. When you accepted the offer in May, what led you to choose this program to be the basketball coach?
I applied to a few other positions, and I mean, when it came down to everything, when I got a chance to meet some of the kids and be around everyone, I thought this was a good fit for me. I mean, the guys kind of have my personality already, and they're starting to you know, you're starting to see it a little bit on the court where they're getting more and more comfortable in my system. So it was just great. It was a great opportunity for me, and I just saw, you know, a sleeping giant that I'm ready to try to wake up.
As you mentioned, as we were just talking here, you've been a member of the University of Minnesota Golden Gopher basketball team from 2007 to 2010. What kind of lessons at the University of Minnesota do you take into your coaching style and how you train your players?
Well, yeah, Coach Smith, Tubby Smith, he taught me a lot. You know, he was a lot different than me as a coach. He was a real hardcore and was tough. You know, he was one of those old school type coaches. And I kind of took some of the things that he has, you know, as far as focusing on making people better citizens, whereas, you know, I'm really working with the kids on being better members of the school and just focusing on the academic and outside of basketball aspect. And that's stuff I'm really bringing over to North. And as far as defensively, you know, he was a defensive coach, and I love defense, so I'm bringing some of his principles also here to North.
So following your graduation from the University of Minnesota, you went to the Southeastern Australian Basketball League. Talk about your experience over there in Australia.
Oh, Australia was great. I mean, it was great to see another culture. Just, you know, I always thought I kind of had people tell me that Australian toilets flush differently and everything, so I kind of bought into that. But getting a chance to see everything for myself, it was great. You know, I was kind of fearful of snakes and spiders because I watched Discovery Channel a lot, so the deadly animals, Australia's always on there. So it was just great to get a chance to experience everything they have and some of the, you know, visit some of their sites.
So let's switch now from your experience on the basketball court to your players' experience. For those of us who haven't watched the North Polars play this year, describe your team's style of play. What do we see when we see the Polars?
We're a scrappy, up-tempo bunch. We try to push the pace, pick up, press a lot. We worked very hard in the offseason to get in great shape, get in great condition. So we're utilizing our team depth, and we're trying to play fast, press, and use all our advantages we have. We're a very athletic team.
A lot of talent on your team certainly so far. Who are some of the players who have stood out to you?
I mean, good news, Capigo, he's been great. He's doing everything he has to. He's one of our leaders. He leads the team in scoring. He's actually making a good conscious effort to focus on other aspects of his game that was his weaknesses. I kind of challenge him on that every day. DeJuan Carter, he's been a surprise for me these past few weeks. He's just stepping it up each game. And Brendan Lakeford Johnson, he's like one of our heart and soul. He's the guy that's going to do all the small things. Him and Khalil Golden, they do all the little things that's going to get us over the edge. So those two guys with good news, DeJuan and Bryce Phillips, one of our team captains, those guys going to help us get to where we need to go. So we're a deep bunch. I sit here and list all my players because I think all of them bring something different to the team where they all are important pieces. So, it's great to have some of those guys really keep stepping their games up each week.
So your team has been ranked inside or around the top 10 in Class 4A in the state of Minnesota for a good portion of the year. How much does your coaching look into that ranking? Do the players talk about it? How does it affect their style of play?
I like using it as motivation because, beginning of the year we were outside the top 20, so I use that to kind of fuel them, let them know that, we're the underdogs. No one's looking at North basketball as the same way they look at Creighton or Hopkins. So it's time for us to try to get to that level and push each other each day to try to get to that level. Right now we're 10, but why be satisfied with 10 when you could be number 1?
Let's take a look back again at your playing career. Are there any moments either that you played in or that your players have played in so far that have really stuck with you as something to take with you in your road in basketball?
One of the moments that kind of helped me as a coach was beating Wisconsin at Wisconsin. We were down, I think 14 with 4 minutes to go, and we could have easily gave up and cave in, but we just kept fighting back, and we were at Wisconsin, which is impossible to win anyway. So we fought back, and we played against the refs, everything, and it helped us persevere. And here, we have times where the players think the refs are against them, and I let them know you can't buy into that, man. You got to fight no matter what, and it's been a helpful tool for me coaching, just letting them know that we got to stick to the game plan. We can't let nothing get to us, and we got to keep fighting no matter what's the score.
And the last question for you before we let you go. Any advice that you would have to an aspiring coach looking to get into this profession?
Believe in yourself, man. You always got to believe in yourself, trust what you're doing, but always be willing to be open to other people's perspectives. Now I have a system that I plan on running, but at the same time, I ask as many coaches as possible with their feedback, with some of the things they see we could improve on, some of the stuff that they use each day. And I think it's been helping out a lot.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way to the Polars.
Yeah, thanks for the interview.
And from one former Gopher to another former Gopher in the studio, this is your home for North basketball here on SCC Sports.
So still halftime here. That was head coach of North St. Paul, Damian Johnson, with our Alex Wested. I want to thank Coach Johnson for taking the time out there. That was from Coach's Corner, a segment we do on Sports Path. Hey, that's a show that's hosted by you and me, John.
Yeah, I think we have one live tomorrow night.
Got that right. First and third Wednesday of every month here on SCC. There's a look at the score, 22-20. And we've had some interesting plays here. We'll take a look at the leading scorers, though, from our first half.
Yeah, it's really Roseville versus Jeremy Beckler as he's leading the White Bear Lake Bears with 11 points so far. Roseville, Devontae Munson, and Cameron Walker really playing well for this team. Devontae Munson's been all over the court. This kid's playing outstanding defense, and he's good at driving the lane. Here's a little fast break steal, and then the layup. This is the end of it, but it was outstanding right there. This was really, like I said, back and forth between two number 34s on the team, Munson and Beckler. Beckler was killing inside on the low post, and then Munson had some great steals and a fast break. But then, you know, Beckler also showed you that he could shoot it from the outside as he drains this three, showing you a great range and making you have to respect him and come up and play defense. And then here's another three. He was just really back and forth in the last couple minutes of the game. As you'll see another three-pointer right there.
Yeah, it kind of started off low scoring here in this first half, and then a few three-pointers aside, and we got up to 22-20, but still a pretty low halftime score.
Yeah, this game, the last game they played was 58-55, so I don't even know if they can reach that. This looks like it's going to be a 40-point game. This feels like a Big Ten basketball game.
Yeah, both teams were really cold to start. White Bear turning the ball over a lot. Didn't get their first points on the board until about 4 minutes in. And another turnover, one of the storylines from the first half for White Bear Lake. They're going to have to foul Cameron Walker as he goes up after the turnover.
Yeah, looks like that's number 2, Isaac Tessier, getting his first foul of the game. Just coming in a little reckless and getting the foul on Walker.
That one's good from Walker. You know, we saw those highlights from the first time these two got together during halftime. An interesting thing to note, you mentioned Gary Smith, number 42 from Roseville, no longer with the team. Saw a big three-pointer in that game from Avery Nelson as well. He is yet to really come into this game, number 20.
Yeah, he's only averaging 1 point per game on the year. He's only actually attempted 9 or 20 field goals on the year, but you know, as we talked about, a lot of players on this Roseville team have scored points. They've had 15 players averaging at least 1 point per game, so I think it's any given night for the squad.
Yeah, I was thinking Nelson didn't make it in that first half. He did log a couple minutes, but not a ton. (23-20).
Oh, great.
Inside to Beckler. Schwartz with the wonderful entry pass.
Great job to pass it around the perimeter and then work it into Beckler. Beckler gets his 13th point of the game.
Another bucket there for Roseville as they go back up 3. Blake Charles gives. Now back with Beck. Over to Schwartz. Blake Charles inside to Beckler. Beckler almost got the roll, but gets the foul.
Yeah, they were literally double teaming Beckler all the way up until they gave him the entry pass, and that was when Munson came out. And of course, once that double team came off, they feeded Beckler. As you can see, Munson just coming out. Beckler goes up, gets the easy, not the easy shot, but gets a contested shot, but nonetheless works his way to the free throw line.
Beckler knocks down the first. Another nice entry pass, that time from Blake Charles. Charles, the senior amongst these kind of junior stars for White Bear. Beckler knocks down both from the free throw line. That's big. So they're going to continue to work it inside to him.
And he's got 15 on the 24 points for the Bears. You got to talk about how well of a job he's done tonight.
Keyshawn Payne gets it back after nearly throwing it away. Got contact on the floor.
It looked like the Roseville player drove a little erratically. Nonetheless, he drew the contact. I think the White Bear Lake player would have just been in a little better position. He could have drawn a charge.
Looks like that one against number 1 Beck, his second, and the team's second. Adams fakes the 3, gets it inside. Wald can't gather it, and it's going to be a takeaway, for White Bear Lake.
I don't know what Adams was looking at. It was congested down there at the bottom of the lane.
Charles not strong enough with it and taken away from Cameron Walker. I can see why this game is at the score that is at. This team's almost logging more turnovers than points. Another one there. This one goes ahead, and that's going to be an easy lay-in.
It's Tessier's 5th point of the night on the 2. Great fast break opportunity right there, and they finally converted on their fast break opportunity, Sam.
And we got another lead change as White Bear back up on top. Timeout. 26-25 Bears, 15:39 left to go in the ball game.
Yeah, both these teams getting really sloppy here at the start of the second half, and you got to imagine both these coaches are telling their teams to take control of that ball. And, one of these turnovers could decide the outcome of this game. As we've seen, the lead is just swap back and forth.
Kind of similar to how we saw this one start out. A lot of turnovers, not a lot of made baskets. Then towards the end of that first half, we saw a couple threes starting to be knocked down. So we'll see if we get a little bit more offense as this second half progresses.
Yeah, we'll see. Both these teams can shoot the ball, but I think they play even better defense. They just swarm. They don't give the offensive player any room to breathe at all. They have great movement. But we're starting to see White Bear Lake on offense starting to focus on just passing the ball around, trying to find the open hole. And, that's kind of San Antonio Spurs-like, and that's why they're so good.
Roseville does a nice job breaking the press, using the pass now with Munson. Munson's going to go off the dribble into the paint. Doesn't really have a window as Beckler standing there, and a huge rejection from the big man. Schwartz gets it. Up to Blake Charles. Blake Charles near midcourt gives it to Beck. Back to Schwartz. Tessier keeps the play alive. Somehow got it to Beckler. Beckler keeps it, gets it out. Sam Schwartz keeps it alive. He goes baseline, kicks back out. Tessier keeps it in the half court. The running lay-in, and that's going to be a charge as Wald stands strong.
Yeah, great job by Wald to just set himself. I don't even think he moved. He just set his position up, and you'll see the charge right here. Wald just moves in, puts his hands up. Great job.
Unfortunate for the Bears on that possession. Worked really hard, kept the play alive a couple of times, but couldn't get anything from it. Here's Keyshawn Payne. Payne tries to make something happen. Has to give it back to Walker. Walker to Munson. Walker looking inside. Can't get it to Wald. I think Roseville wants to get it inside too. It's just a problem is Beckler's D'ing up Wald. Good ball movement to kick it out to Adams. Rattles out. And Beckler skies for the rebound.
That's about as good as ball movement as you can see, Sam, if I could talk here.
Schwartz has been looking like he's wanted to shoot one. Last couple possession, got a good look. Can't get it to go. Beckler can't get the follow.
Yeah, Beckler might have got fouled there, but I think he just played a little too erratically. If he would have composed himself and then went up for a shot, he just kind of just turned around expecting the foul to get called.
So still at 26-25. 13:30 now left to go in the game. Tessier followed that one with the eyes the whole way, pokes it away. And gets the steal. He's going to spot up for the three-pointer, stepped into it, off the heel of the rim, and they're going to get Beckler for the over the back.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Beckler was just taller and he jumped. That's what I saw in that foul, Sam. And Beckler didn't look like he was too happy with that as well.
Yeah, I think that long three-pointer just gave up a long rebound. Call goes against the Bears.
But it's only Beckler's second foul.
pressure again from White Bear. They'll back it off a little bit. And it looks like they'll go with man-to-man. Munson baseline, gets by his man, and that's an easy lay-in. Roseville back up on top.
Yeah, nice job by Munson. He's so great at driving the hoop and getting those layups to go.
Beckler hustles down, gets the contact and the bucket.
That was a great job by Roseville player number 20, Walker, but he was in the circle, and if he would have just stepped up another foot, it would have been a beautiful foul.
And I think the play was made by Beckler getting there, the hustle to get to the spot before the defender. Beckler was the first man down, and good job by White Bear feeding him the ball, getting the bucket and the foul, and getting back up on top.
Yeah, he gets the three-point play to go. Up to 18 points now, his season average.
Blake Charles just a little over-aggressive. That's going to be his first fifth on the Bears, so getting close to the bonus here for Roseville.
That's big, Sam. There's only 12:40 left to go. 2 more fouls. They could easily get that in the next minute or two.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of free throws in the first half. Neither team getting to the bonus. Saw a couple, but Roseville with it now, down 2. Saw Munson hit a big three-pointer. Walker hit one as well in that first half. Gets it back. He was looking for it. Goes inside. Maybe got tripped, but had to leave it short. And the rebound to the Bears. Schwartz driving. Throws the arm out. And they're going to call the offensive. They're going to get it on the defense.
Going to get it on the defense, Sam. That's not a good call at all.
Yeah, sorry. I saw the ref throw his arm out there. I thought he was calling offensive on that bump, but he was saying on the ground. That's the 4th team foul against Roseville. Inbound to Sam Schwartz, strong to stay with it, turns, can't get it to drop. Schwartz did a good job to get that inbound pass, just couldn't get it to go. Haven't heard a whole lot from Devontae Munson here in the second half. Couple of moves, now pass to Walker in the corner. Walker's going to try and work against Kleist. He'll pass it over to Munson. Back into the corner. Kleist maybe got away with one as he had a hold of the jersey. 3-point up and good from Munson.
Three-pointer gets him the lead. That's his 13th point on the night. This kid's on fire, Sam, and he's got great range, and he can also shoot it down low.
What an entry pass. I think that was Ehlers getting it into Beckler. And you can just see Roseville doesn't have anybody with the height that can hang with Beckler.
Not at all, Sam. That's Beckler's 20th point of the night. Yeah, they just have no answer for him at all.
The 31-30 as this one's going back and forth. Walker, a little shimmy shake, pulls it back. Bouchard's going to let one go from beyond the arc, just off the front of the rim.
Yeah, you can tell he short-armed it just a little bit coming off his hand.
Yeah, good job by White Bear closing down. I think he saw that closeout coming, thought maybe it was going to be a block shot. Another turnover as Munson picks up the steal.
This kid's impressive on the defensive end of the court, Sam.
Munson at least with 5 steals, I would say. A good drive. Been impressed with that player as well, Johannes Gabeyu. Kleist dealt with some contact, then the frustration foul. It's Kleist with some good hesitation. Maybe he got away with a little bit of shuffling of the feet. Wasn't able to get the bucket to go.
Yeah,
and commits the foul.
I don't know. Kleist was not happy with that call at all. It looked like he got hacked on his way up, and then he gets called for his reach-in, which is a frustration foul, and he gives the ref a little clap, and a little bit more. He probably could have got teed up.
Yeah, Kleist showed good hesitation under the basket. I think he did maybe draw a little bit of contact. No call. Definitely committed the foul after that.
Yeah, it definitely looked like the call could have went either way.
Schwartz picks up the steal, this time for White Bear.
I don't know what's up with Roseville. Whenever they drive the lane, they like to throw it across the lane into a congested area. They've been doing that all second half.
White Bear foolishly gives it right back. Bouchard kicks it out. I thought that was maybe heading to the stands, but Nelson was there. Now he gives it to Sam Schwartz.
See, they just did the exact same thing I just talked about, Sam. They keep trying to pass it across the lane to somebody who's not open with 2 defenders right there.
Griefhagen, good fake on the 3 to get it in. But even better defense from Roseville. Not sure we're going to get credit for that block. Bouchard and Adams on a cooperative effort.
Nice no call, though. I thought that was all ball, and they went up there and they challenged Beckler.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't hear anything. It's sort of the deafening of the palming of the ball. But there's a big 3. It's Gabeyu again. And he's knocked down a couple of big shots and had a couple of big plays in this one.
Yeah, at the end of the first half, he had a big 3 to take the lead, and then now he took another 3 to take the lead, and he's got 6 points on 2 threes.
I think that's the point guard you were talking about Roseville needing. I think they got him right there with number 1. Adams now pushing it the other way. Kleiss there with the big rejection.
Nice job by Kleiss to smack that one out of here.
Kleiss making Rip Hamilton proud, not only with the mask, but with the defensive effort right there.
I like it, Sam. Gabeyu just a junior. You know, you got to wonder if they're playing more seniors on the squad. Now they're letting Gabeyu, he's a little spark, and they're starting to let him play. I mean, he can dribble.
He's going to pop a jump shot, and his shot has looked very good. And he's starting to be the separation in this game as Roseville up to a 4-point lead.
Their second biggest lead of the night after the 6-point lead that they blew in the first half.
Eller's nearly had a 3-point opportunity. Almost lost it, then has to throw it off the backboard, so it'll go back to the Raiders.
Yeah, Gabeyu averaging 5 points per game on the year. He already has 8. Only shooting 34% on the year. But you got a feeling, if this kid gets rolling, I mean, he can shoot well. I mean, that last one on the far side of the court was beautiful.
Yeah, I know. If I'm the Roseville coaching staff, I'm letting him for the rest of this game take kind of any jump shot he feels comfortable with.
I think you just kind of roll with him and Munson, and there's busted coverage on defense there. And the Roseville player, number 20, just finds that one. Avery Nelson, beautiful move. Great awareness to see the hole and gets the layup, and now they're up by 6, tied for their biggest lead of the night, Sam.
Yeah, we saw Nelson knock down a big 3-point in the highlights of the first game between these two. Gets the left-handed layup right there. We got a timeout as Roseville's up 6.
I think it's just tough. Besides Beckler and White Bear Lake, Sam, they don't really have anybody on this team that's really rising to the occasion. Schwartz is averaging almost 18 points per game this year, and he doesn't have near that tonight. I think he has 4 points, 14 below his season average. I mean, he's got to step up. I mean, this whole team does. They're not playing too well this second half, and they're not taking advantage of a lot of sloppy passes and turnovers by Roseville. And then Roseville's just taking advantage of what they can get.
Yeah, it almost seems like anytime a team gives the ball away, they end up giving it right back. Can't get anything from it. Take a look at some of our upcoming broadcasts. Going to have some section hockey coming up. That's always an exciting time. And then as basketball kicks their postseason off into March, we'll have a couple of those games as well.
Yeah, a little girls basketball action. Lots of good teams for our Fab Four, especially Matamidi. And then boys basketball, the 4-3A quarterfinals. So I think it's going to be that should be Matamidi boys basketball as well.
Yeah, one thing of note, those games do have to be on tape delay. Unfortunately, can't bring them to you live. Won't get political with that. Just say that's within the rules. As the state high school league has the rights to all that stuff as it gets into postseason play. But we'll have them for you anyway. You'll be able to catch all the action and excitement from those tournaments as we're back into this one. White Bear trailing 6, 7.5 minutes to go. Blake Charles in the paint. Hook shot just short. Rebound Adams.
Beckler's out of the game. This is a huge time for Roseville to expand on this lead, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Now they have the size advantage themselves, and that was a terrible shot there that they just didn't need to take.
Kleiss going up, gets contact. And he's going to go to the free throw line. I thought if Adams could knock down that three-pointer, it would have been a great shot. But I know what you're saying. Not a good selection. It's one of those ones, though, if he makes it, though, that could be big, especially with how low scoring this game is. But I think, yeah, take some time off the clock there.
Yeah, Beckler's out of the game. Move the ball around, find the open man, take the shot. But you know what? Yeah, I don't really blame him for taking it because I would have took that right there. And Kleist just airballs that free throw.
And the interesting thing about this is that foul also. The quick shot leads to the quick foul on the other end. And Beckler's going to come back in for Kleister once he's done shooting free throws. So it gave Beckler a chance to get a breather but didn't take time off the clock.
Yeah, that's true, Sam. And also the Bears are at 6 fouls right now. If you're Roseville, why would you not try to drive the lane with Beckler out? They don't got the size. Odds are you're going to get hacked and you get in the 1-and-1. I don't know. I just the shot, I get why he did it. He was wide open. He's hit a couple tonight.
You got to remember, too, a 6-point lead in this game is almost like a 10-point lead in a regular game. Roseville's going to add to that.
Yeah,
White Bear defense falling asleep.
Busted full court coverage. They split the full court, and that left an open man. Exactly what you didn't want if you're Coach Lockwood. You got to start to wonder, Sam, is 7 points too much with 7 minutes left to go?
Well, I was hoping White Bear might do kind of what Roseville did and just have some people just start taking some shots from beyond the arc. I mean, I know you want to work it into Beckler, but maybe find a hot hand. Just give it to somebody from beyond the arc that has enough of a look to get a shot off.
Yeah, Beckler triple teamed right there. He had to dish it out. I mean, I get why he went up. He thought he could draw the foul, and he's the only one scoring points in this team. But, you know, I think you're exactly right, Sam. I figured that somebody would step up and at least shoot a shot when they're open, and this team is just scared to shoot, it seems like. Every other player, they like to drive, but they don't like to shoot from medium to long range.
Tessier with it. He gets a lot of pressure from Walker beyond the arc. Roseville kind of pressing, not allowing these three-point shots. They're picking up the ball beyond the three-point arc. Tessier nearly got inside. Beckler drives, draws contact, and will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think the ref knows that he missed the call on the original pass to Beckler, and he gave him that one because it looked like way less contact on that than when he was getting past the ball.
So that will be the 6th team foul on Roseville, so both teams with 6 apiece.
You got to wonder, I mean, if Beckler this summer, if he bulks up a little bit more and he grows a little bit more, this kid's going to be a gamer next year, Sam. He's going to be a very, very good basketball player if he's not already right now.
Another Parker Fox on our hands, perhaps.
I think he's a little stronger than Parker Fox.
More of a post player.
Yeah, I think he's more of a Bogut. Parker Fox is more of a Dirk.
I hear you. I hear you. Beckler only 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He's done a great job there all night. That three-pointer off the mark. Another quick three from Roseville. Tessier now going to spot up the jump shot. That's too far. And Drew Adams with the rebound.
Yeah, Tessier, I mean, it shows you why he doesn't shoot the ball that much. He's got a really ugly shot, Sam.
Too strong on that one. Roseville now. Adams again from the corner. And maybe he just likes to take a while to warm up, but he's certainly letting them go here in the second half, and that one falls. And it's a 9-point advantage for Roseville.
Those are his first 3 points of the game, I believe, Sam.
Definitely looks good coming out of the hand. Not sure why he hasn't taken more. Good defense from the Bears, perhaps.
Nice hustle right there by number 15 for Roseville. Keyshawn Payne keeping that ball alive and keeping it inbounds. I think this Roseville team just plays like they want it just a little more. They're hustling. They're out hustling White Bear Lake here in the second half.
You can see, I think White Bear Lake getting a little discouraged with their inability on offense to do anything besides get it into Beckler or to somebody in the post.
And that was tipped by White Bear Lake, so it's going to stay Roseville. And I think what you're seeing from Roseville is their guys are driving. Even if they're not open, they're willing to go up with a shot, a hard shot, a running jumper. You're not seeing that from White Bear Lake.
So Walker going to inbound. He looks up, throws it to Drew Adams. And it looks like Roseville snuck in a timeout right before that inbound pass. So with 4:48 left to go and a 9-point lead for Roseville, they'll take a quick timeout.
Yeah, the only way I think, once we look at the leading scorers here, Devontae Munson's got 13, Gabeyu with 8, Walker with 8, Beckler outscoring his teammates by 16 points. That just can't happen. Schwartz and Charles, the two next leading scorers, are averaging well below their season average. And I just think that, you know, besides the low post presence that Beckler gives you, Roseville's much more athletic than the other leading scorers for White Bear Lake after Beckler, Sam, and I think that's the difference in the game.
Yeah, Roseville definitely shown the ability to balance the scoring a little bit more. You look at Gabayu, Adams, I don't even think that we had him on our top scorer list at halftime, and you look at the 8 and the 5, 13 points. That's all that the Bears have mustered here in the second half.
Yeah, he's got 5 points. Yeah, he hit that one earlier, and then he just drilled that 3. He has confidence in shooting his shot. I mean, they were already up by 7 or 6, so you couldn't really blame him for shooting that 3. It's going to be awfully tough for White Bear Lake to come back, and the only way I can see it right now is if they pull their guys outside and try to shoot the 3s, because otherwise it's just not working at all for them, Sam.
Seems weird, John, that Roseville's gotten more aggressive, and it's kind of paid off when they probably have, you know, traditionally you want to be less aggressive as they've kind of gotten this lead in this low-scoring game late. And it's sort of worked in their favor to be more aggressive from the three-point line than they've been all day. But this one's not done yet. Tissier, great hustle, gets the bucket and foul.
Yeah, Tessier gets his 7th point of the night, which is his season average, averaging 17 or 7.9, and that's just what they needed. This, if he makes this free throw, it's down by 6.
That's off. Thought White Bear might have a chance for another possession there. Tessier can't get the free throw.
Yeah, Sam, exactly right. Free throws have been a huge part. I think Roseville's made most of their free throws this game.
Tessier picks the pocket of Munson again. That one poked away from Beck, kept alive, and goes to Roseville. And Munson maybe got away with a reach in there.
Looked pretty clean to me, Sam. He has a knack for just getting his hand on the ball.
Just strange. I'm not sure why. He must have been D'ing up Adams a little closer in that first half, but he's just been letting him go.
He has, Sam, and I think Wald got away with the push in the back there against Beckler. Beckler had the perfect box on. He jumped up, Wald pushed him in the back. Ball went out of bounds, and Roseville gets the ball back. Lucky break there for Roseville.
That's tough for White Bear. That could be a big call. It could have been a free throw opportunities. A rejection stays with Roseville.
Oh, Wald had to shoot that shot. He was wide open.
Roseville really slows things down. 7-point lead, 4 minutes to go now. 42-35 in a really low-scoring game.
Yeah, you got to imagine that one more bucket here could pretty much seal the game with 3:50 left to go.
Gabayu into the paint. Pull-up jumper gets the roll.
Gabayu's feeling it here in the second half, Sam. He's got 7 points. 10 points on the night, 7 in the second half. He's been playing beautiful. His shot, when it leaves his hand, you just expect it to go in. That's how good it looks.
Yeah, it didn't even look great, that last shot, but just got the good roll, had good enough rotation on it to get it to fall. That's what I was hoping White Bear would do in the second half. I don't care who it was, just somebody step up, get confident, and knock down a few shots. Good pass from Tessier into Beckler, who puts it in easy.
We're seeing the full court press. They're leaving Beckler in the back, so they're not going to get burned again. Somebody's got to come help Gabayu. He's trapped.
Gets it ahead to Payne. Payne is going to slow it up. Back to Adams. Adams to Munson in the corner. Munson's going to put up the quick three. And the aggressive move pays off. It's 47-37.
16 points now for Munson, 5 above his season average, averaging 10.3 on the year.
Beckler fouled. Blake Charles went after the smaller Gabayu, got the ball into the middle. Beckler back to the free throw line.
Yeah, that'll put White Bear in the double bonus, or the 1-and-1, I'm sorry, after if they get a foul on the ground the next time. But, you know, if you foul Beckler and he's going up for a shot, you're up by 10. That's better than them scoring a 3 or letting him earn it the easy way. I don't see anything wrong with playing him aggressively the rest of the game.
Well, it's so obvious that that's their offensive approach, that I think, you know, you're going to deal with some of those fouls. You can disperse them around to a few different players, just, you know, be aggressive on defense, get in the way. A turnover after the rebound, and another foul as Beck's going to go to the free throw line. And White Bear maybe has a little bit of a lifeline here.
Yeah, I think I think Coach McKenzie is going to need to call a timeout, figure out how he wants to beat this full court press because it's working right now. We saw Gabeyu almost get trapped the last time down the court.
Bears now just have to take care of business at the line. Saw Beckler miss the second opportunity there.
This White Bear Lake team, they play great defense. They hustle. I just think it comes down to saying this team can't shoot. They can't shoot the ball very well.
That one rattles out for Beck, so misses both.
And I think their best shooter is Beckler. And he has to play down low the whole game because otherwise they're not going to score any points.
Yeah, unable to get anything from the free throw line there. Missing on their last 3 attempts. That may just about do it. Good pressure. Beck's going to get called for the hand check, and that's going to send Payne to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's going to put them in the 1-and-1. Coach McKenzie, he gave a little smirk there after they slowed the ball down and they beat the press. You know, he kind of had that sigh of relief, like that could have done it right there. I think White Bear Lake needed a steal.
Also, I'm sure he's just happy to see the team break the press too. You know, a little bit of relief on that end.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, he finally beats the press. They slow things down.
Yeah, a lot of times you see that when a team all of a sudden starts pressing, the turnovers just mount and mount and mount. One leads to another to another.
Somebody's got to shoot a 3 here, Sam. You're down by 10 with 2 minutes left to go here now in regulation.
White Bear's trying to work it around the perimeter. Can't get anything off. Schwartz now swatted away by Munson. Munson, dangerous play, but got it to Payne.
Munson, this kid's going to be, I guarantee you he's playing basketball somewhere at the next level, Sam. Whether it's D1 or high D2, this kid can play, and he's got a knack for the ball.
Payne into the paint. Off the window. Really difficult shot. And it's good.
When it's going, Sam, and that's red hot right there. Payne picks up his 5th point.
There's Schwartz from way out. And just no luck here as that was halfway down.
Yeah, they got those little rim shots to fall in the first half. They haven't seen any of the same luck in the second half.
See, there's a player like Schwartz right there. I mean, that was a few feet from beyond the arc, but that looked pretty good. I mean, that ball was halfway down.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sam. Schwartz showing you that he could shoot it from NBA range. Why aren't you doing that all game?
I mean, the only jump shot he really missed is when he had to just grab it and turn around, which isn't going to be an easy shot anyway.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Lockwood, you go back and you look at this film, I think you just, the next game that you play, you got to tell your guys just shoot the ball. Like, don't be afraid to, don't always look for Beckler down low. I mean, Beckler's going to score his points no matter what. You guys have to score as well.
Now you wonder if that's just by design with White Bear Lake having a difficult time competing with a lot of teams athletically, trying to slow things down. So really slowing it down on offense, holding on to the ball, trying to work it into Beckler for easy 2-point play. But in a matchup like this where it's a little bit closer, I think you can maybe deviate from that game plan a little bit and open it up a little more.
Yeah, I think you definitely can, Sam. And Roseville gave you every opportunity to win this game with so many different turnovers. But then it seemed like every time we talked about Roseville would turn over the ball, White Bear Lake would turn over right back. But White Bear Lake, they were more just passing it in the wrong lane. Roseville just make errant turnovers.
And we saw White Bear was hanging in this game early on when, they maybe had 6 turnovers to Roseville's 1 or 2. They were still in it. So even with the turnovers, they were hanging around. Then they were able to get some turnovers on their end to kind of even it out, but just couldn't hang in the game, as you mentioned, just couldn't shoot with Roseville.
They couldn't shoot at all, actually. I mean, if you look at it, Schwartz has 4, Charles has 2. I mean, that's just not what if you want to win the game, it's just not going to happen. And now Roseville's going to go to below 500 in conference, 13-10 overall, still a lot better than they were last year. And Roseville's going to go to 8-6, 14-9 overall. They got to be feeling pretty good about themselves, but I think they both know these teams, when they get into section play, their season's pretty much over.
Yeah, tough thing about these games too, a 3-point loss at Roseville in the first one, loss here, all of a sudden you have a 13-win team. It could be a 15-win team, a couple of these close games. It sounds a lot better at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it too. Roseville, you got to admit, what would the game be if Gary Harris was still on this team as well? I mean, this was just a butt whooping in the second half, and Roseville played with so much heart and so much more hustle, and they weren't afraid to shoot their shots. White Bear Lake played scared in the second half, to tell you the truth.
Too bad for a White Bear team coming off a 3-game winning streak, including a win against Woodbury, a team they lost to earlier in the year. So they had been playing some good basketball. Unfortunately, don't get it done here tonight. As the horn sounds, the final will be 52-40. Roseville will take it and improve in the Suburban East. They go to 14-9 overall. Bears fall to 13-10.
Yeah, I think the difference that you saw in the second half, we just saw backside D played against Beckler in the post, and whether they had the backside help, but then they would also pull in the guard to triple team him, and that was working. And you know, no fouls were getting called for Beckler. They were getting great blocks. They were getting all ball, and Beckler wasn't getting any calls even when he was getting hacked. And you know, if that's the way the refs are going to call the game, you got to find a different way to do it.
Well, how you stop the best player on the team, deny him the ball. I'd say Roseville did a pretty good job of that, even though Beckler ended up with 26, but it was enough to get the job done.
Yeah, Beckler, I mean, 26. Next closest person was Tessier with 7, and your next two highest scorers in the regular season are sitting there at 4 and 2. You're just not going to win. But Munson, wow, this kid had to have had about 6. He had 16 points. He had probably had 7 or 8 steals, 2 or 3 blocks. He had at least 4 or 5 rebounds. I mean, he definitely stacked up the box score, Sam.
Yeah, and Gabeyu as well. Huge contributions in the second half. Roseville got hot there from beyond the arc in the second half, opened up the lead, and eventually won it by 12. 52-40. Well, for John Miller, I'm Sam Erickson. For everyone else here at SEC Sports, I want to thank you for watching this presentation of Suburban East basketball right here on SEC Sports.